Welcome back to Infinite Abundance. Today we delve into the heart of the game of life and how to play it. Chapter 7. Love, the vibrant heart of the entire book. Florence Scovel Shinn reveals that love is not just an emotion, but the most powerful magnetic force in the universe. In this chapter, she explains that true love is fearless and detached, and that by greeting the divinity in others, we can transform enemies into friends and open the floodgates of wealth. It's profoundly emotional and healing content for your life. Discover how selfless love can dissolve financial blocks, heal your body, and finally attract the life that is rightfully yours. Release resentment, open your heart, and let's begin.
Every human being on this planet is taking their initiation in love. A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another. Uspensky states in Tertium Organum that love is a cosmic phenomenon and opens to us the fourth dimensional world, the world of the wondrous. Real love is selfless and free from fear. It pours itself out upon the object of its affection without demanding any return. Its joy is in the joy of giving. Love is God in manifestation and the strongest magnetic force in the universe. Pure, unselfish love draws to itself its own. It does not need to seek or demand. Scarcely anyone has the faintest conception of real love. People are often selfish, tyrannical, or fearful in their affections, thereby losing the very thing they love. Jealousy is the worst enemy of love, for the imagination runs wild, seeing the loved one attracted to another, and invariably these fears objectify if they are not neutralized. For example, a woman came to me in deep distress. The man she loved had left her for other women and said he never intended to marry her. She was torn with jealousy and resentment and said she hoped he would suffer as he had made her suffer, and added, "How could he leave me when I loved him so much?" I replied, "You are not loving that man, you are hating him," and added, "You can never receive what you have never given. Give a perfect love and you will receive a perfect love. Perfect yourself on this man. Give him a perfect, unselfish love, demanding nothing in return. Do not criticize or condemn, and bless him wherever he is." She replied, "No, I won't bless him unless I know where he is." "Well," I said, "that is not real love." When you send out real love will return to you, either from this man or his equivalent. For if this man is not the divine selection, you will not want him. As you are one with God, you are one with the love which belongs to you by divine right. Several months passed and matters remained about the same, but she was working conscientiously with herself. I said, "When you are no longer disturbed by his cruelty, he will cease to be cruel as you are attracting it through your own emotions." Then I told her of a brotherhood in India who never said good morning to each other. They used these words, "I salute the divinity in you." They saluted the divinity in every person and in the wild animals in the jungle, and they were never harmed, for they saw only God in every living thing. I said, "Salute the divinity in this man and say, I see your divine self only. I see you as God sees you, perfect, made in his image and likeness." She found she was becoming more poised and gradually losing her resentment. He was a captain, and she always called him the Cap. One day, she said suddenly, "God bless the Cap wherever he is." I replied, "Now, that is real love, and when you have become a complete circle and are no longer disturbed by the situation, you will have his love, or attract its equivalent." I was moving at this time and did not have a telephone, so I was out of touch with her for a few weeks, when one morning I received a letter saying, "We are married." At the earliest opportunity, I paid her a call. My first words were, "What happened?" "Oh," she exclaimed, "a miracle. One day I woke up and all suffering had ceased. I saw him that evening and he asked me to marry him. We were married in about a week, and I have never seen a more devoted man. There is an old saying, no one is your enemy, no one is your friend, everyone is your teacher. So, we should become impersonal and learn what each person has to teach us. And soon we will learn our lessons and be free. The woman's lover was teaching her selfless love, which every soul, sooner or later, must learn. Suffering is not necessary for our development. It is the result of a violation of spiritual law, but few people seem able to rouse themselves from their soul sleep without it. When people are happy, they usually become selfish, and automatically the law of karma is set in action. We often suffer loss simply through a lack of appreciation. I knew a woman who had a very nice husband, but she said often, I don't care anything about being married, but that is nothing against my husband. I'm simply not interested in married life. She had other interests and scarcely remembered she had a husband. She only thought of him when she saw him. One day, her husband told her he was in love with another woman and left. She came to me in distress and resentment. I replied, it is exactly what you spoke the word for. You said you didn't care anything about being married, so the subconscious worked to get you unmarried. She said, oh yes, I see. People get what they want and then feel very much hurt. She soon became in perfect harmony with the situation and knew they were both much happier apart. When a person becomes indifferent or critical and ceases to be an inspiration to their partner, the partner misses the stimulus of their early relationship and becomes restless and unhappy. A man came to me dejected, miserable, and poor. His wife was interested in numerology and had given him a reading. It seems the report was not very favorable, for he said, my wife says I'll never amount to anything because I'm a number 2. I replied, I don't care what your number is. You are a perfect idea in the divine mind, and we will demand the success and prosperity which are already planned for you by infinite intelligence. Within a few weeks, he had an excellent position, and a year or two later, he achieved a brilliant success as a writer. No one is a success in business unless they love their work. The picture the artist paints for the pure love of their art is their greatest work. Uninspired work done purely for survival is always something to live down. No one can attract money if they despise it. Many people are kept in poverty by saying, money means nothing to me, and I have a contempt for people who have it. This is the reason so many artists are poor. Their contempt for money separates them from it. I remember hearing one artist say of another, he's no good as an artist. He has money in the bank. This attitude of mind, of course, separates us from our supply. We must be in harmony with a thing in order to attract it. Money is God in manifestation, as freedom from want and limitation. But it must always be kept in circulation and put to right uses. Hoarding and saving out of fear react with grim vengeance. This does not mean that we should not have houses, land, stocks, and bonds, for the barns of the righteous shall be full. It means we should not hoard even our capital if an occasion arises where money is truly necessary. In letting it go out fearlessly and cheerfully, we open the way for more to come in, for the divine is our unfailing and inexhaustible supply. This is the spiritual attitude toward money, and the great bank of the universal never fails. We see an example of hoarding in the classic story, Greed. A woman won $5,000 in a lottery but would not spend it. She hoarded and saved, let her husband suffer and starve, and eventually she scrubbed floors for a living. She loved the money itself and put it above everything. And one night she was murdered and the money taken from her. This is an example of where the love of money is the root of all evil. Money in itself is good and beneficial, but used for destructive purposes, hoarded and saved through fear, or considered more important than love, it brings disease and disaster and the loss of the money itself. Follow the path of love, and all things are added, for God is love and God is supply. Follow the path of selfishness and greed, and the supply vanishes, or we are separated from it.
From quantum physics, love is the highest frequency of coherence. While hate and criticism contract your energy field, love expands it, allowing abundance to flow toward you. Florence says that no one is your enemy, everyone is your teacher. By blessing those around you, even those who seem difficult, you shift your own vibration from scarcity to opulence. Love is the shortcut to infinite supply. Let's continue.
For example, I knew the case of a very rich woman who hoarded her income. She rarely gave anything away, but bought and bought and bought things for herself. She was very fond of necklaces, and a friend once asked her how many she possessed. She replied, 67. She bought them and put them away, carefully wrapped in tissue paper. Had she used the necklaces, it would have been quite legitimate, but she was violating the law of use. Her closets were filled with clothes she never wore and jewels that never saw the light of day. The woman's arms were gradually becoming paralyzed from holding on to things so tightly, and eventually she was considered incapable of managing her affairs, and her wealth was handed over to others. So, in ignorance of the law, we often bring about our own limitation. All disease and all unhappiness come from the violation of the law of love. Our boomerangs of hate, resentment, and criticism come back to us laden with sickness and sorrow. Love seems almost a lost art, but anyone with a knowledge of spiritual law knows it must be regained. For without it, we become as sounding brass and tinkling cymbals. For example, I had a student who came to me month after month to clear her consciousness of resentment. After a while, she arrived at the point where she resented only one woman, but that one woman kept her busy. Little by little, she became poised and harmonious, and one day all resentment was wiped out. She came in radiant and exclaimed, "You can't understand how I feel." The woman said something to me, and instead of being furious, I was loving and kind. She actually apologized and was perfectly lovely to me. No one can understand the marvelous lightness I feel within. Love and goodwill are invaluable in business. For example, a woman came to me complaining of her employer. She said the manager was cold and critical, and she knew her employer did not want her in that position. "Well," I replied, "salute the divinity in the woman and send her love." She said, "I can't. She's a marble woman." I answered, "You remember the story of the sculptor who asked for a certain rough piece of marble. He was asked why he wanted it, and he replied, 'Because there is an angel in the marble.' And out of it, he produced a wonderful work of art." She said, "Very well, I'll try it." A week later, she came back and said, "I did what you told me to do, and now she is very kind. She even took me out for a ride in her car." People are sometimes filled with remorse for having done someone an unkindness, perhaps years ago. If the wrong cannot be righted, its effect can be neutralized by doing someone else a kindness in the present. This one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forward to those things which are ahead. Sorrow, regret, and remorse tear down the cells of the body and poison our personal atmosphere. A woman said to me in deep sorrow, "Speak the word for me to be happy and joyous, for my sadness makes me so irritable with the members of my family that I keep creating more negative karma." In another instance, I was asked to support a woman who was mourning for her daughter. I denied all belief in loss and separation and affirmed that the divine was the woman's joy, love, and peace. The woman regained her poise at once, but sent word by her son not to continue the spiritual treatments because she was so happy. It wasn't respectable. So, the limited mind loves to hang on to its griefs and regrets. I knew a woman who went about bragging of her troubles, so of course she always had something to complain about. The old idea was that if a mother did not worry about her children, she was not a good mother. Now we know that a mother's fear is responsible for many of the illnesses and accidents that come into the lives of children. For fear vividly pictures the illness or situation feared, and these mental pictures manifest if they are not neutralized. Happy is the mother who can say sincerely that she puts her child in God's hands and knows, therefore, that they are divinely protected. For example, a woman awoke suddenly in the night, feeling her brother was in great danger. Instead of giving in to her fears, she began making statements of truth, saying, "Spiritual being is a perfect idea in the divine mind and is always in its right place. Therefore, my brother is in his right place and is divinely protected." The next day, she found out that her brother had been in close proximity to a mine explosion, but had miraculously escaped. So we are our brother's keeper in thought, and everyone should know that the thing they love dwells in the secret place of the Most High and abides under the shadow of the Almighty. There shall no evil befall you, neither shall any plague come near your dwelling. Perfect love casts out fear. The one who fears is not made perfect in love, and love is the fulfilling of the law.
A lesson for the soul. Today I invite you to try Florence's experiment. Bless someone who has upset you and witness the miracles. Write the following affirmation in the comments. I greet the divinity within you. By doing so, you activate your prosperity magnet. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I'll be waiting for you on the end screen for Chapter 8, Intuition, where you'll learn to listen to the voice that will guide you directly to your success. See you there.